Hello again. Okay, good. We're ready to start. I see that we have a nice crowd from Cali, from Argentina, from Kingston, Canada. And yeah, super. So super. I know some of you are also pitching your startup ecosystem. So we're really happy to hear about your startup ecosystem soon. Let me tell you a little bit about how we're going to build this event or what are going to be the topics for this one. But just a second, let me just yes. So let me quickly tell you a little bit about the format of this event. First of all, I'm going to let you know about a few of the changes that we've done recently, today actually, not recently, in the site and also in the report, some of the new things that we have in the site in the report. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the key insights. What are the things that are most exciting in the results of the 2021 results of the report of the Global Startup Ecosystem Index. And of course, in the end, we're going to do startup pitches. We're going to have our own friends from the public sector. This time, governments are going to pitch, not startups, but governments. Just as a side note, I think it's great that usually we have the startups on the line pitching their startup ecosystem, sweating and trying to make it in time. And this time we're going to have governments that are pitching their ecosystems. There are many types of public sectors. There are many types of governments. The ones that are really working for their people are the ones that are pitching their ecosystem, that are trying to get investors, that are avoiding the brain drain. You're going to see a batch of them here. The easiest thing is to play it safe and stay low key. That's the easiest thing for the public sector. The ones that we admire the most are those that care about the ecosystem and are pushing and are hustling just like a startup. So that's always good to see. Yes, so let's start. So basically, I'll just tell you a little bit about, before we start with the ranking, I'll tell you a little bit about a new site. So I'm going to share my screen and present you the new version of StartupBlink, because a lot of the results that we have are also inside of StartupBlink. So those of you who know StartupBlink would actually be surprised. This is how StartupBlink looks like now. And we designed it for the first time in many, many years. So we're very happy about that. And as you can see, the main ingredients that I would like to tell you about StartupBlink are as following, the new version of StartupBlink. First of all, ranking tables. So as you know, today we're going to talk about the index report, the global index report. How many pages it has? More than 300. We know that some of you would find it hard to digest. So for those of you that are not that big fans of reading, also me, although I wrote a lot of the report, but with the help of our team, of course, we also have interactive ranking tables over here. So the idea is that if you scroll below the map, you can view all the results of the 1,000 cities and the 100 countries that are being ranked. You can increase to, let's say, now it's on 10 cities, you can increase it to 50 cities. You can also do a few really cool things about this ranking. Let's say if you're interested only in the rankings of Colombia, you can write Colombia, and it's going to show you only the Colombian cities, for example. So you can filter and see all the momentum and so on and so on. You can filter by region. So let's say if you're only interested in the region of Africa and Middle East, no problem whatsoever. You can see the rankings over there. You can switch between the countries and the cities. You can also filter by population tiers as well. One of the most interesting things that we've done this year is that you have the global rankings, which is great, but you also have vertical rankings on 11 different verticals. So if, for example, you're only interested in hardware and IoT, and this is already, we're giving a spoiler on the results, you can pick hardware and IoT and then see that actually Shenzhen, that is usually 21 in the world in the global ranking, is now number 2 in the world in hardware and IoT. Everyone is doing differently in different verticals. So that's always interesting. And that's something that we're really proud of, that we added a set of vertical rankings to the site. Other than that, you would probably know the map. The map is there. Click on the map. You can browse as before, only that everything is a little bit better. It's a little bit more designed. Finally, we took the time to design everything, and it's much more easy to navigate. The map behaves as it is before. Startups, co-working, accelerators, leaders, organizations. You can view the visualization of all of them. You can go to special entities, like let's say we want to see all the unicorns in the world. Here are the 630 of them that currently exist. If you want to see Pantheon companies, those special companies with a lot of impact, you can do that as well. Super easy to navigate, much faster. We're really happy about building this technology. Now, I guess the biggest thing that we've done, or one of the most interesting thing, is ecosystem dashboards. We now have a dashboard for each ecosystem that we have around the world. So let's say if I'm interested in the ecosystem of, let's do Sao Paulo, maybe in Brazil. You can actually go to when you go to the city itself, you have an option over here. You're going to see an option to open the dashboard. And if you go to the dashboard, let's have a quick look. You're basically seeing a new view of the ecosystem. In this case, you're going to see the national ranking, the regional ranking, the global ranking, the top verticals that each city has. Again, what I'm showing you here exists for all the cities and all the countries. It's pretty cool. So we're very happy about it. It's a new way of analyzing startup ecosystems, and it's about time with the redesign, right? It's so many years. We actually got feedback that the site was old when we launched it many years ago. People told us it's like a site from the 80s. So I'm really happy that we've managed to build this. And again, this is another way of consuming all the insights that our algorithms are offering and our rankings are offering. So that's a little bit about the site, open for everyone at startupblink.com. Now, let's talk a little bit about the report. So the report this year is very interesting. I'm going to share maybe my screen for a second just to show you how it looks like. The report this year is very interesting. It's more than 300 pages. It's pretty heavy. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about new sections or new things that we have in the report. First of all, notable startups. In each country of the report, we now put a list of startups that we really enjoyed seeing. They can be startups, they can be really big pantheons and so on, legendary companies and so on. So those are the companies that we want to share with you in each country and in each ecosystem. So that's an interesting addition that we've done this time. Other than the notable startups, we also have a few other additions. We told you about the vertical rankings. So you can see them over somewhere over here. It's such a big report that who knows where it is. Each industry has its own top cities that are ranked. Once again, it's really interesting to see the rankings when you actually look at it globally. If I'm already here, there is also another really cool section that we're really enjoying, which is islands. So this year, since we all need a vacation after 2020, we also have a ranking of islands around the world. What are the best islands? If you want to relocate, go with your laptop, build a startup. You can also have a look at the island section. I think it's going to be, let me see, somewhere over here. So you have an island section. This section specifically is very interesting as well. Over here, we're showing you what are the countries that have the most cities in the rankings. Very interesting to see which countries have a lot of ecosystems and so on. We also have another section of per capita, how many the countries that have the most cities per capita. Really interesting analysis. So we've done a lot of new things. Regional analysis that is very much extended. I'm going to go over it in the key insights and many other pretty cool things that this report will give you a lot of insights about what's going on in the world. And we're very happy about it. Of course, it's free for everyone to download. It's already online at report.startupblink.com. So have fun using the new platform. and a new site. Before we go to the pitches, the ecosystem pitches, I'm just gonna let you know about the key results because we're all interested about what changed. Let me quickly browse to the part of the key results. Just a minute. By the way, good opportunity to thank more than 100 partners this year, most of them from governments that have joined us, also to our global data partners, Crunchbase, SEMrush, Meetup.com, Coworker, Findexible, the United Nations. A lot of organizations actually created this spin, and we're very, very happy to work with so many amazing organizations that really care about developing their ecosystem. And they care about you, the entrepreneurs, also in each one of those cities. Let me quickly tell you about the top cities, and then we're going to go to the other sections. First of all, I'm going to talk about the countries actually. Let's talk a little bit about trends in the countries. First of all, the queen of the startup ecosystems, the United States, stays solidly dominant at number one. No surprises over here. United Kingdom also, you can see a straight line. I do want to say that Israel got very, very close this year to United Kingdom, and it wouldn't surprise us to see a switch next year. Canada at number four got a little bit separated from the top three, still holding strong, but very, very close to the beautiful ecosystems of Germany that is just seems to be getting stronger every year. One of the biggest surprise is Sweden. You can see the increase over here from 10 to 6. Sweden had a marvelous year. It's one of the best ecosystems in Europe, and it has amazing momentum. If any of you are considering relocation, Sweden is probably a very good option. Probably the most interesting ecosystem in this ranking is number 7. Look at this graph. Basically an horizontal increase out of nowhere. And this is China. China is now ranked number 7. Outstanding innovation in a domestic ecosystem, a closed ecosystem that is restricted, only serving one country, but still very successful in economic terms and in results. Definitely not the model we would probably like seeing in the world, a little bit of a sad model, but it works to an extent. Switzerland staying exactly the same in all the reports, number 8, like a Swiss clock, it never changes, and it shows the strength of this ecosystem. There are so many changes. Look at those graphs, and Switzerland just like that. Australia going a little bit down, and congrats to the ecosystem of Singapore, making it for the first time to the top 10. A beautiful ecosystem and a regional hub of the Asian startup ecosystem. Netherlands went a little bit down this year. Estonia, a very small country, manages to maintain number 13. Spain also experienced quite a dramatic decrease. And India is back to the top 20. So we're always happy to see India doing well, and this year as well. And maybe I'll just mention a few other countries that are interesting. So Brazil is now ranked 24. It went down by 4 spots. Not the easiest, best year for Brazil, but still there in the top. Taiwan is doing absolutely great. Taiwan is climbing constantly. This country is now ranked number 26 globally, an ecosystem that we just love. Another great ecosystem that had a great year is the United Arab Emirates from the Middle East. It's now a top 25 country, jumping 18 spots this year, which is absolutely amazing. And one more notable increase is New Zealand, jumping 14 spots to be ranked 33rd. And a few other notable increases, Malaysia, Indonesia, good things are happening in those two countries. They're closing a little bit the gaps, trying to connect with the real potential. Last but not least, we finally have a country from Africa in the top 50, and that would be South Africa. So that's a little bit about the countries. Moving on to the cities. First, and with the leadership role that cannot be matched, is San Francisco. I do want to tell you something interesting about San Francisco, though. The distance between San Francisco and the second ranked city, New York, and all the other cities, they're pretty close. In 2019, was 5 times more, the total score. In 2020, it was 4 times more. And in 2021, 3 times more. What's happening now in San Francisco is interesting. It's still going to be the best ecosystem for many years to come, but it's losing a very, very fast and massive gap in historical, let's say, velocity. So if someone is here from San Francisco, maybe it's time to wake up. Whatever you're doing is not working. Um, and then we have New York at number two, very solid across the year, a strong ecosystem. Number three is one of the biggest surprises, Beijing. Look again at the graph. The rate of increase of the Beijing startup ecosystem is absolutely astonishing. They made it into the top three. Los Angeles, a great ecosystem, is at number four. And not a lot of people know how good is the Los Angeles startup ecosystem. London, the only city in the top seven that is not from the United States or China. London is an international ecosystem, very strong. However, we see a decrease. It used to be number three in all the reports that we had. This year, number five. Brexit has some consequences after all. Boston at number six, Shanghai at number seven, one more Chinese city in the top 10. Those sevens they have a big margins from the ones that are following. The ones that are following are Tel Aviv. Then we have the very interesting ecosystem of Moscow. Not many people know that Moscow has a lot of innovation. It's a domestic ecosystem, resembles in part to the Chinese, but also open to the world. Although the market size is not that big, that's why it's ranked below the Chinese cities, but there is a lot of innovation going on in Russia. Bangalore at number 10, also a great ecosystem, and the leader or the engine of the Indian startup ecosystem, together with New Delhi at number 14. So that's a little bit about the cities. Of course, there are 1,000 cities, so we can't cover everyone, but it's all there at startupblink.com. You can browse, you can have fun with the interactive rankings, you can look at the map, you can look at the dashboard. I will just say on a regional analysis of what happened this year of the distribution, let's say, between the regions. Let me quickly scroll, if I may, or if I find it. It's very hard to find things when a report has more than 325 pages. But let me tell you a little bit about the regional, let's say, momentum. So first of all, when we look at the regions, we're trying to identify what are the most, let's say, strong regions in the world. What's going on as to the momentum between the regions. You can see this pie chart. And a very interesting thing over here. Europe actually has most ecosystems in the world. Out of 1,000, they have 38.6% of the ecosystems of the cities, which means 386. So Europe is really showing how vast is the ability to generate cities that have an ecosystem in a certain level. After Europe, but remember, Europe has about 30 countries. North America is the next one that brings about 29.7% of the ecosystem, or in other words, 297 ecosystems are from North America. We should remember, North America is only two countries, the United States and Canada. So it's actually a vast, there's a lot of cities here for only two countries. The third region that we see is Asia Pacific. 16.1% of the ecosystem, or 161, are from Asia and Pacific. And then we have the two locations that we think have the most potential of growth, and we're already seeing them growing. One is the Middle East with 7.4, 74 ecosystem, Middle East and Africa, of course. And the second one is Latin America and the Caribbean with 8.2% of the ecosystems, or 82 ecosystems. That's pretty much it. There is one more interesting table that I'm not sure we can dive to very deeply, also about the distribution of those cities in all those countries according to the tier. What we see over here, remember that we said that Europe has the most ecosystems, but when you look at the cities ranked between 1 to 30, almost half of them are in North America, which is leading this tier. In the tier of 31 to 100 ecosystems, North America, once again, is leading this tier. Only in the tiers of 101 to 300 in the ranking and 300 to 1000, only there Europe is becoming much more dominant, which says that Europe has a lot of ecosystems, but the real quality of the ecosystem is still in the balance of power in North America. And a lot of them are also in Asia Pacific. As you can see, Asia Pacific, although they have much less, almost less than one half of the ecosystem in Europe, in the top 130, in the top 30, they have more ecosystems than in Europe. So there are many, many more insights. We can't go over all of them, but we're hoping that this was useful. And now it's just a teaser. Once again, the report is at report.startuplink.com. And now we're going to the interesting part of going into pitches of ecosystems from around the world. We're going to start with Ben, that is going to present the Philippines startup ecosystem. Is going to do a pitch of up to 5 minutes about the ecosystem. So Ben, I'm going to quickly promote you to pitch, and let me, as I'm doing it, also share with you the dashboard of the Philippines, just so I can show the audience what exactly are the latest events in the Philippines. So let me quickly promote Ben to a speaker. And as he's preparing his presentation, if he has one, I don't know, maybe he wants to go freestyle as well. I'm just going to quickly share with you the dashboard of the Philippines. By the way, this dashboard is accessible to everyone. You can just go to the Philippines in StartupBlink and you would see that. Currently, the Philippines is 52 worldwide, increasing by 1 spot. The best verticals currently of the Philippines are energy and environment, fintech, and education, all of them in the top 40. And the cities that we have in the Philippines are Manila, Cebu, Cagayan de Oro, Davao, and Baguio. I hope I pronounced them correctly. And Manila, the top ecosystem, is increasing this year, and Davao and Baguio are both new ecosystems. So that's always great. And Ben, we'll take it. Let's turn it to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Eli. I'm just trying to move my screen around so that I can present my slides.
Excellent. You have a share screen button.
Okay.
I'll let you know when we see it. So Ben, I'll just say that it's from ID Space and QBO, two very dominant organizations in the Philippines, and it's really great to see how this ecosystem is growing and becoming a regional player. Ben, go for it.
Fantastic. Can you see the PowerPoint slides there?
Yes, we can.
Brilliant. Okay, then I will get off to a start. So good evening, everybody. Sorry, good evening from the UK at least. I'm sure there's many time zones around the world. I'm normally based in the Philippines, currently in the UK at the moment, dialing in from here tonight. So I'm the head of strategy and investment at Ideaspace and Cubo. We, as well as being a startup accelerator and all-round ecosystem enabler, we also do from time to time invest in some of the most promising startups that we see coming through, and that's kind of where I focus. But tonight it's my pleasure to share with you information more widely about the wider ecosystem in the Philippines. So at Ideaspace and Cubo, we are just a little bit about us first, just so you know where we're talking from. We're a public-private partnership, so we are stage agnostic. We work with startups at any stage of development, and we are multi-sectoral. So we work across verticals, industries. Whoever would like to come and ask for help and support, we are ready and willing From the public perspective, so we work with the top icon there is the DOST, which is the Department of Science and Technology, the Department of Trade and Industry, and the Department of Communications and Technology. Three obviously key government departments in terms of supporting a technology and innovation ecosystem, and a whole array of private sector partners from the commercial sector, academe, and also links to international partners, predominantly through embassies, but through commercial partners in other markets as well. And our role really is to encourage collaboration to develop the community and to build the ecosystem as a whole. We run a huge array of programs, events, and initiatives in order to support the ecosystem that we sit very much at the center of, and we'll talk a little bit about those a little later. The startup ecosystem in a nutshell. So I sort of focused really to start off the economy. Obviously, we have taken a hit in from COVID-19, you know, as a lot of the world has. So we were growing very steadily as an economy, between 6 and 7% for about 5 years leading up to 2020 and the impacts of the pandemic. And we are showing good signs of recovery this year towards getting back towards that steady growth rate again. From people perspective, a lot of people know of Indonesia as being a standout sort of market in the Southeast Asia region, but with 110 million people in the Philippines, we are a very sizable marketplace of our own, with incredibly high literacy rate, which we're very proud. And from an industry perspective, and this is where I'd like to really sort of call everyone's attention, given the focus on technology and infrastructure, we're at a hugely high mobile penetration rate. So a lot of people connected with devices, which obviously makes for a very attractive marketplace. These numbers are out of date already. They are constantly changing every day. So angel investors, we're uncovering new angel investors that are moving out of traditional investment options and into the world of startups. Incubator and accelerator programs popping up all over the place. We are past 500 startups of our own at Cubo Idea Space now in our own ecosystem. A lot of commercial office space converting to new co-working spaces given the pandemic, and more and more VCs, both domestic, but also coming active from international markets coming into this ecosystem as well. A lot to talk about on the slide, but I really just want to focus your attention on the middle 4 bullet points on the right-hand side. Especially the bottom 2, the proficiency of English of the growing tech talent resources in the Philippines is unbelievable. Students are choosing computer science courses over traditional courses because they want to avoid the traditional jobs of accountancy, law, medicine, etc. And the amount of tech talent that is coming through to support startups and empower startups is incredibly notable. And also our global diaspora. So we don't just have to rely on our marketplace at home. We have Filipinos all around the world, which also helps. It's fantastic to see the Philippines up 1 place to 53rd. A little disappointing it's just 1 place, but we will continue to try increasing that year on year and breaking into the top 50, which is certainly our target. Manila, great to see us at 88th globally and 17th in Asia, but as Eli mentioned earlier, it's great to see Cebu as our sort of second major city coming up 41 spots, so really making rises there, and also Cagayan de Oro, as was mentioned before, a new city coming in, and we have so many startups coming from that part of the Philippines, which is great to see. Some of the big names here, you know, the startups that dominate our ecosystem are fintech and e-commerce. In the fintech space, Ayana and Quickfire have been around for reasonable times, moving payments across borders. Paymongo recently graduated from the Y Combinator Accelerator, and NextPay have are current members of that. So great to see fintech companies continuing to do well. And in the e-commerce area, if you haven't heard of Kumu yet, I'm sure you've seen well, leveraging social media platforms to drive e-commerce capability. And Prosperno, One Export, and ChatGenie, all enablers of e-commerce capability amongst the SME marketplace in the Philippines. Moving on, reasons to move your startup or your investment interest to Manila. So huge amounts of early stage funding per startup, and a very affordable software engineer marketplace make good reasons for to be present. And I mentioned already before the tech talent, the age of the workforce, but also startup support. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that now. Government startup support programs initiatives include the Innovative Support Startup Act, which involves tax breaks, grants, and huge amounts of new startup support opportunities and resources for startups in the ecosystem. The Technology Business Incubator Network is a network of technology hubs and support resources that spans the width and breadth of the country, and really aims to make sure that we get innovation and development running not just in the Metro Manila area, but throughout the country. Startup Filipinos, but also at the bottom, I wanted to call out attention to Startup PINI, which is a series of programs focused on female-led startups to ensure that they flourish in what has previously been a male-dominated tech landscape. The ecosystem mapping project has identified these two cities, but is actually a project which again spans the length and breadth of the Philippines. We are aiming to make sure that founders anywhere in the country have an understanding and awareness of the resources and the network that's available to them to help them to be successful, to grow their startup and to be successful. Just quickly on COVID-19, yes, it's had a big impact. Of course it has everywhere, but we're very proud to have ranked 2019th on the Coronavirus Innovation Global Rankings. We've seen so much development, fast-paced development, adoption of cashless payment options, and driving e-commerce, the acceleration of e-commerce as well, which has come from the coronavirus pandemic. And we've seen the country react as well with providing resources and assistance, which has been welcome and will probably continue on after the pandemic has hopefully passed us by. So as I mentioned before, we really are inspiring the next generation of founders that are looking for careers outside of those careers that perhaps their parents might have hoped that they would follow, and looking to become startup founders and to develop the next solution for the biggest problems. We're driving opportunities for female-led startups through our Startup PINI programs. We have a TBI, a Technology Business Incubator Network that spans the length and breadth of the Philippines, linking academe, commercial and government programs to ensure that we've got technology development coming from all parts of the region. And later this year, we will be celebrating the ecosystem through our second online Philippine Startup Week, which celebrates all the great things about our ecosystem and is a great source of resource and information. Okay, so I'm conscious I may have been a little bit over time, but thank you so much for bearing with me. We're all about Filipino startups changing the world. And if you would like to get in touch, there's some information there, or the guys at the team, I'm sure, can pass you on, can connect you with us as well. So please do get in touch. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Ben. Great presentation. Thank you very much. And great to see the Philippine startup ecosystem growing and becoming a regional hub. So thank you. Thank you.
It absolutely is. Thank you.
Super. Good. So we're switching, and now we're going to go from the Philippines, from a radical transition to Marseille in France. People stayed very late, by the way. Nathaniel, I'm going to promote you to a panelist, and also thank you for staying so late at this time. While we're promoting you to a panelist, I'm also going to quickly share with everyone the ecosystem dashboard of Marseille. So I just want to tell you, everyone, that Marseille is currently the third national ranked city in France. You can see a very interesting uptrend in the region. In the global ranking, an excellent result, going up 41 spots. Strong verticals, energy and environment, marketing and sales. Both of them are top 100, also social and leisure. So great results all in all. And yeah, Nathaniel, we can switch to you if you want to have a presentation or go freestyle, whatever is better for you.
Hello. So yes, thank you for the opportunity to pitch our region. Yes, it's a little bit late in France, but we know that this kind of opportunity so we have to take this kind of opportunity. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to pitch my region. And so I will try to share my screen. Okay. Great. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. If you can only move to the full screen somehow,
Yes,
that would be super.
sorry. Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, go for it. Good
Great.
luck.
Great. So, like I said, I'm very happy to be with you today, well, or tonight. It depends from where you are. So I represent Provence Promotion, the economic development agency of Aix-Marseille-Provence, and our role is to accompany free of charge and confidentially a company wishing to invest in your territory. So the theme of my presentation is how to start and how to scale your business or your startup in the south of France. So before going into more detail about our services and what Provence Promotion can do for company, I will show you a short overview because I think that I have only 5 minutes to pitch. I will show you a little overview of our ecosystem. So we assume that we have a neutral competitive ecosystem that favor entrepreneurship in France. This is why we are the second region in France for the digital economy. And these figures are verified by the fact that today, 350 startups are incubated and accelerated on the territory. And that we have identified more than 600 startups. And this is only the startups that we have identified with a French tech, with Aix-Marseille French tech. And we know that there is a lot of other startups that exist on our territory, and we try every day to contact them to put them into the ecosystem in order to promote them at different kind of events like the CES in Las Vegas, like in Vivatech, who happens tomorrow, and every kind of event like this. So we know that our startups are very talented and we like to promote them. That is why since 2017, we have the largest delegation of startups at the CES in Las Vegas. So this is, we have the largest delegation, but all these startups that we promote in this series, most of them come back in France with different kind of price. And the CES offers them a very good, yes, I can say like this, a good boost for the development of the company. You can see here a quick overview of the Marseille Provence ecosystem that show you the 40 different support structure that we have. So the different support structure are have this different stem, and you can have a different the support structure in creation at between the creation and Series B. So this is what we are. There we have an operational support with more than 90 co-working centers between Aix and Marseille. We also have 17 engineering school. You can also see the different type of financing and where you can do your research and your developments. And yes, that's it. A little bit that we have in our territory. So about the support structure, you can see that there is incubators and accelerators that respond to your business theme and also to your growth stage. If I can give you an example, if you are a green tech startup, you can begin your support at the clean tech incubators. The clean tech incubator just right here. And if you are in acceleration phase, the Inco accelerator will be a better choice. Two of the support structure that you can see here are hosted by private companies. So this is Obratory and The Box. So The Box is an international accelerator of the CMA CGM, so the famous maritime company. And And the box can give you an access to the world maritime industry around the globe because of the strong connection with CMA CGM. So the box is specialized in logistics, artificial intelligence, and Industry 4.0. The second private accelerator that we have in our territory is Oboratory. Oboratory is a private accelerator of L'Occitane en Provence, so also the famous brands of product for well-being, for cream, and everything like that. Perfume, also perfume. So the Oboratory is a private accelerators and give you an access to the world cosmetic markets and the network of shops around the world. So, like I said, this accelerator is dedicated to the well-being and health. So we also have a very strong operational support. So Marseille and Aix-en-Provence have two technoparks specialized in specific fields. In France, a technopole is a technology park where you can find researchers, startups, students, and support structure. So the first one, Château Gombert, where Pépinière and an accelerator, Marseille Innovation, is located, will allow you to make the link between the academic world and the economic and entrepreneurial worlds. And the second one, the Technopole de l'Arbois, where the pépinière of the same name, so the pépinière of Cleantech de l'Arbois, is located. Is a technopark dedicated to the environment. The Arbois Technology Park is a technology park dedicated to environment, which aims to combine research and to combine research between startups, laboratory researchers, and competitiveness cluster on a common theme. Here is a detailed overview of the digital training course in our ecosystem. The number you should know that there are 280 training courses in the digital sector for more than 23,000 people trained per year. Whether in business school at the University of Aix-Marseille or in engineering school and also in business school. So you can see that the University of Aix-Marseille is rated as one of the world top 150 universities in the world. So we also have competitiveness cluster who are dedicated for your research and your development. So we are located, the Aix-Marseille territory is located in a regional reach of 10 competitiveness cluster. Two of them are world class, and so the presence of clusters is a beneficial environment to develop the business of the startup and integrate innovative ecosystem in the field of IT, energy, waters, also aeronautics and space, optics and photonics, and also agribusiness, environmental security, or environmental technology for the industry. So the famous cluster that we have is Aix-Marseille French Tech, Miden Software cluster dedicated for ASN, data center, and software. So the secure communication cluster is a cluster dedicated to IoT, intelligence, artificial, blockchain, and who allow startups from France to find funds at an European level. So this is a famous cluster that we have in the South France. And this is a presentation of our service. So Provence Promotion is by the side of startup if they want to invest in the South France. So as an economic development agency in Provence, we are public services free of charge, which supports companies in their development by presenting them to our digital ecosystem. So the financing partners, engineering school, business school, sorry, and also the clusters, and also the incubators and accelerators partners. So our free and confidential services cover the following areas. So financial engineering, fundraising, recruitment assistance, and human resources engineering. Search for premise, networking with the local partners and actors, help for mobility supports regarding all the visa matters, all the thing regarding business immigration, and also support for legal assistance. And our last support is promotions. When a company decides to invest in Provence, we like to promote the company and to say to the whole ecosystem that the company invests in Provence, and you have to start to do business with this new company. And so this is where you can contact me. This is my email and my phone. If you have any question, do not hesitate, to send me a text or to contact me by email. I will be very happy to respond to all of your questions. And thank you for the opportunity to pitch today. And I'm very happy.
Thank you for staying so late for us. This was great, and we'll go to visit you. It seems like a really great region in France. Yeah, no, that's great. I see we have a question here about the people asking about the presentations. This is going to be a recording on YouTube, and we're going to send it to everyone in the following day. Nathaniel, thanks again, and good night. Get some sleep.
Yes, thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Great, excellent. We're moving on to the ecosystem, to the exciting ecosystem, one of my favorites, Cali in Colombia. So we have a few people, I think, from Cali today. If I'm not mistaken, Sergio is going to speak. So Sergio, I'm going to promote you to a speaker. Just a second. I see that we have Alejandro, mi hermano. How are you? Good to see you here. Sergio, I'm going to promote you. Give me just a second. I'm going to find you. Yes. And as I'm promoting you, let me just quickly share with you the panel, the new ecosystem panel of Cali in StartupBlink. National ranking number 3 in Colombia, a strong ecosystem in Colombia. Regional ranking in South America, number 14, increasing by 2. Global ranking, making it to the top 300 in the world, up by 32. Amazing results for Cali. Education, 151 in the world. Marketing, 161. Hardware and IoT, 188. Great momentum for Cali in Colombia. And Sergio, tell us how you did it. So good to have you with us, and thank you for joining. If you want, you can share a presentation or go freestyle, whatever you want.
Thank you very much, Elia. Thank you very much, everyone that is connected right now with us. So really happy to be here, and I'm also very excited. And thank you very much for sharing your enthusiasm about our ecosystem. We appreciate that. I'm going to just to tell a little bit about the story about how we became, this very effervescent ecosystem here in Colombia. And again, just to mention, I'm Sergio Zúñiga, the Director of Entrepreneurship and Innovation here at the Chamber of Commerce in Cali. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the so-called the branch of heaven or the world capital of salsa became one of the most exciting ecosystems here in Colombia. And it's a magic that really deserves to be known all over the world. And well, first of all, those who doesn't know where is Cali, Colombia, is the 3rd largest city, and we are nearby the Pacific Ocean in the southwest of Colombia, and we are strategically located. And this pretty much this diversification or this location that we have, it's been also an easier in order to have a very diversified economy here in Colombia, and one of the most competitive in Latin America and South America for sure. For those who has been here for maybe its fair, which is very famous at the end of the year, you have been maybe experience this amazing burning sun all over the year, and this mild weather that really makes it easier to be here, be doing better, going and really doing business here, which is very fantastic. Moreover, an amazing people and culture that really enables to make business here very easy and to start, of course, new startups here in the at the local base. One of the things that has been implemented here in Colombia is entrepreneurship regulation, which has been enabling new, better conditions for raising or like starting new businesses up to date. And since that, Cali has been taking advantage of that regulation and becoming the third most innovative ecosystem here in Colombia, with something around 2,000 companies with high impact potential, and most of the companies are clustered together in specific fields such as experiences, macro snacks, smart energy, fashion, beauty, clinical excellence, white protein, urban habitat, and digital economy. So in that sense, we have like different startups that are rapidly growing and scaling. And recently we have been measuring the impact of those scaling startups and how like different programs that we have been promoting from the Chamber of Commerce are really impacting the ecosystem. And what we have seen is that those actions that has been taken from the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about these specific programs, are really making impact on those companies that are willing to scale and that has been chosen Cali in order to keep this path of growth. And like pretty much we have been comparing, I mean, these companies that are part of our programs against others that are just going organically by themselves. And we have seen that they definitely, I mean, they grow in number of not just the employment and the quality of employment that they are promoting, but at the same time, they're growing in sales, which at the end is like very important on what we are doing right now, is that to have a really economic impact on our society. And there are some changes that we are trying to structure in order to implement more impact in our program so far. So this is a very solid and rapidly growing ecosystem again. And you are seeing that, I mean, 7 years ago, talking about like entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystem in Cali, it was a dream. And the Chamber of Commerce decided to really take part and to promote like all these entrepreneurs and all these fast growing companies that deserve a different type of support. And so we decided to take action and implement different type of programs according to their path of growth from the very early stages until scaling all these startups. And right now we are not talking about just startups or type of company that are growing, but we have like different fronts right now, such as smart capital, mentoring, networking, scaling apps, and corporate venturing as well, which is making this ecosystem very dynamic. As an example of the above, we have Pollux, which is a smart capital network managed by our Chamber of Commerce, of course, that connects all these disruptive and creative ideas from high impact businesses with ambitious investors from not just Cali, but also Latin America, in order to support this scaling and startup path. And this is like a very important. I mean, they are not just investing, of course, in startups in Cali, but also in Latin America and different parts of Colombia as well. Additionally, we have our flagship program, which is called Valle Impacta, and this is the most important program for a business that are scaling here in the southwest of Colombia. Through this program, we are able to support businesses in process of growing above the average of their industry. And we are right now opening from the 21st of June. We are opening not just for companies in Cali, but from around the world to apply to this program. You may find more information about Valle Impacta in our web pages of the Chamber of Commerce. So like we really encourage you to apply and to come to Colombia, and specifically to Cali, to really enjoy this amazing ecosystem. By the way, if there is something that we can acknowledge of this land, is that this DNA of the entrepreneurs from Cali, Colombia. One of the largest or the biggest and most recent unicorns in Latin America is called Rappi. And Simon Borrero, who's the founder of CEO, he's from Cali, Colombia. And there are many other cases such as Adri, Turora, and those that you were mentioning here in your presentation. Are from this land, which is amazing for us to have like these successful cases that can be replicated, and also to have this diaspora of amazing entrepreneurs that are like many of the Colombian entrepreneurs that has been going through Y Combinator or raising money from the top VCs in the world are from Cali, Colombia. So this is really nice, and this is like creating a new diaspora of entrepreneurs that are willing to invest back in the ecosystem and to get back to the to this amazing land in order to keep growing this ecosystem. So we are very happy about that, and we know that the ecosystem is about people. It's not about like the money itself, or it's not about the startup itself, but it's about people and culture. And if there is something that we have here in Cali is culture. I mean, and I'm not talking about, of course, salsa and many other creative industries that are growing here, but I'm talking about this helping culture that is something that we can describe the ecosystem in that way. So right now, I mean, as many of you are watching in the news, Cali society is explosive, creating and demanding. And right now, the society is manifesting new needs and asking for changes right now. And there are a lot of opportunities here. And that's amazing opportunity to create and hack these markets. Cali has become a cultural lab for businesses all over the world that are willing to take action and to make changes that endure. Social changes, environmental changes, and sustainability as such. So people are now more conscious of themselves, their impact to our society and the world as a whole. So if we can describe right now how is the Cali ecosystem, is a purpose valley as such. It's a purpose ecosystem, powerful one, aware of their duties with society, leaders, and willingness to support this amazing revolution that is entrepreneurial revolution, but also a cultural one and environmental one. So we are right now creating this new generation of leaders with legacy to build. Hereby Cali's ecosystem is an incredible platform for businesses that dream to conquering new industries, new ways to do more conscious ways of investing, and more conscious way to give support to these companies that are not just growing because financially, because of their financially stability and growth, but at the same time to give back to the society, and again to take care of this amazing environment full of amazing landscapes, full of amazing people, and also like probably this city is like the most diversified in terms of races, in terms of inclusion, in terms of resilience as such. So we are open for everyone. We are open for the world right now, and we are very happy to be in this amazing ranking and welcoming everyone that is willing to take a further step and to invest in our entrepreneurs, but at the same time to invest in our ecosystem. There are a lot of things to do here, and yeah, I mean, and at the same time having a good time, because I mean, those fanatics of salsa and culture are very welcome to join this party. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Sergio. Thank you very much. Thank you for the Cámara de Comercio de Cali. You guys are doing great work. You just took leadership of the startup ecosystem, decided that you want to lead it, and it's great that there is an organization that is so supportive of startups. And yeah, keep up the great work. Thanks a lot. Super. So we're moving on now to, we're jumping between continents, and now we're going to go to Canada. And that's going to be we have two more presentations. This is going to be from Kingston in Canada. Norman, I'm going to promote you. I know that you're here with two devices, so I'm hoping I'm going to promote. Maybe you can raise your hand. Yes, that's exactly. So I'm gonna just promote you. I will let everyone know as I'm promoting Normal about the ecosystem of Kingston in Canada. One of our maybe also favorite ecosystem. We just love the ecosystem in Kingston. I'll just share with you the current ranking of this ecosystem. So I'm quickly sharing my screen. Just a minute. Kingston is a very interesting case because it's a relatively small ecosystem that is really punching above its weight, and we love seeing this ecosystem. It's ranked 9th in Canada. It's ranked 141 in the world, going up 3 spots globally. Top verticals, energy and environment, top 40 in the world. Software and data, top 70. Hardware and IoT in the 71 location. Great ecosystem, great universities. So absolutely an ecosystem that is inspiring us every time we talk about it. And yeah, Norman, let's do a sound check. Let's see if we can hear you.
Thank you so much, Eli. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Super.
Yeah, so I want to use the other screen to present the one that I was using to chat.
You want me to promote the other one?
As well.
Yeah, sure. Let me just quickly find it. Just a minute. So let me know if it works.
Yeah, it's working.
Excellent. Go for it. I'll let you know if we can see your screen.
Fantastic.
Yes, we can. Super.
All right. Yeah, so thank you so much, StartupBlink. 1 minute, let me activate my camera. Yeah, thank you so much, StartupBlink, for this opportunity. It's always a great pleasure to work with you, to learn from you, and to get all these insights that we get as a city and as a community. For those who don't know Kingston, Kingston is a very small town located in Southeast Ontario, Canada. It's a city that is located very, very close to the US. So usually what we tell people is that if you want to get into the US market, but you don't fancy living the US lifestyle, you can live in Kingston and you'll be in the US in 25 minutes of driving from this downtown Kingston. So it's a very strategically located city. We have Toronto is about 3 hours away from Kingston, or Montreal is about 3 hours away, Ottawa is about 2 hours away. And then we have Boston, New York, where you can drive about between 7 to 8 hours, and Syracuse just across the border. We have access to the 401 highway, we have an airport, we have access to a deep water terminal, and we have access to, of course, the US border. So from a strategic perspective, and as a company that is looking to scale, that is looking to probably even attract finance or funding from the US, Kingston is very ideal for those type of companies or those type of entrepreneurs. From an ecosystem perspective, as you might know, there are different factors that make an ecosystem be great and probably deliver to the entrepreneurs in the ecosystem. And we have many of these factors or these variables in Kingston. I will talk probably a little bit about for example, access to talent. In Kingston, we have 3 academic institutions that produce some of the best talent in Canada and North America, and to some extent to people and communities around the world. And so when you are based in Kingston as a startup, you have access to this talent, you have access to incentives to help you to recruit these talents, and you really kind of working in an environment where most of the basic challenges that you come across as an early stage founder or as a founder who's trying to scale your business, you have access to all these resources that help you to kind of accelerate that process. When it comes to access to research and intellectual property services, one of the universities, Queen's University, has an Office of Partnership and Innovation that provides IP and research-related type of services at a fraction of the price that you would pay anywhere in the world, simply because it's an academic institution and one of its mandates, it's a research university, and one of its mandates is to help accelerate the growth of this region. We have a very good number of co-working spaces that are coming up every day. And we have a good number of acceleration and incubation services from different ecosystem partners. And then we have both a supportive public and private sector. We have companies like in the healthcare space that are looking to work with early stage founders who are in the healthcare system or industry. And we have actually recently secured a funding program for the federal government to help accelerate healthcare innovations in Kingston and the surrounding areas. So these are some of the key ecosystem partners we have in Kingston. When I started, I mentioned that it's a very small town, but we have a population of about 130,000 people. And we have also a population of close to between 30 to 4,000 students. And all these organizations work together on a daily basis to try to make the life of an entrepreneur kind of easier than it's supposed to be. We have support all these institutions. We are looking at the screen. Some of them are from academic institutions, others are one BDC, the Business Development Bank of Canada, others are research institutions, others are like Launch Lab and Queen's Office of Partnership Innovation. They run a couple of acceleration programs. As Guy, the Kingston Economic Development Corporation, we run a couple of funding programs that help people to kind of develop the ideas or come up with new products or services. So we have we work together as an ecosystem, and we try to complement each other into the way we support entrepreneurs. These are some of the co-working spaces that we have in the city. We have all the facilities that you might be looking for. And most of these facilities work as a landing spot for entrepreneurs who are looking to come to Kingston. If we work together to help you kind of get a spot in some of these facilities through Queen's University, you can get access to for example, the Seaway co-working space for free for a good number of months. We are also working to see if we can establish strategic partnership with like Fractal co-working space, Sanctuary, WeWork, and K-Work. This house you are seeing on the top left is a co-working space that is more or less like you can occupy a desk in that co-working space, while in Seaway, in Fractal, and all these other co-working spaces, you can actually have a small office inside the co-working space. So if you have a team of 5, 6, 10 people, you can find your spot into the working space as a private office. So like I was saying before, if you want the talent, we have got it. We have the Royal Military College of Canada. Even if it's a Royal Military College, it doesn't only train military-related disciplines. They have a lot of people, a lot of students who are following engineering programs. And so we have all these early new talent or fast hires type of incentives that can help you to recruit into some of these institutions. Then when it comes to Queen's University, this is the biggest or the largest academic institution. It recently became, I think, about 3 weeks ago, Queen's University became the #1 university when it comes to accelerating the Sustainable Development Goals achievement, I think, by the Times. So there is a lot of work that is being done in the ecosystem that does not only target the fast-growing traditional startups that we all know that are trying to become unicorns, but also social entrepreneurship. And probably that's why Queen's University has been recognized as to the role that it's doing, is contributing to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. It's because we're also focusing at the bottom pyramid. We are creating solutions that focus the bottom of the pyramid when it comes to the population worldwide. And then we have St. Lawrence College, which has a lot of trade schools, trade skills. If you want people who are like handy when it comes to coding and other related trade skills, St. Lawrence College will be the right spot for you. So if you have the talent, we have it. And this is also another slide that talks about Queen's University that has helped Kingston to be established as a leader in the Canadian economy. When it comes to industry and academic research and development. So that means that if you are very early and you have ideas that needs a lot of research, or you are kind of you have some of the craziest inventions that you can ever have as an entrepreneur, we have enough research facilities in this community, in this town, to help you to kind of pull off whatever type of idea that you might be working on. So I think one of the things that I will encourage people who are looking to kind of get the best space to develop the ideas from, or the best location to develop the ideas from, is the way of life around Kingston. I know that entrepreneurs like to grind, but also sometimes that you also need to have a life. So we have strategically located to Lake Ontario. We have a couple of parks in 20-30 minutes drive away from here. So your way of life, even when you grind and you want that kind of calm opportunity, 1 hour, 2 hours, where you want to just be yourself and enjoy the environment, or take time to think, we have all those scenarios around us that will really help you to kind of tap into the creative space and to accelerate your productivity. So all of these rankings you are seeing on the screen, they happen. They are not a one-off type of ranking. They happen over and over and over, because Kingston, as a community, as a city, and as an ecosystem, they love people. You can see myself. I came to Kingston, I think, 2017 September. Ever since I landed in this town, after going through Brussels and London, UK, I said I'm not going to leave this community, because it's a community that gives you access to what you really need to be productive. So that's pretty much it about Kingston. But if there are any 5 things that I would want you to take away from who we are as an ecosystem, is one, we provide you with a very good opportunity to get access to the market, not only in Canada, but also to the US. We have a lot of businesses that have established their distribution system of their warehouses just 25 minutes from Kingston on the US side. We have access to talent, and we have access to programs that can help you to kind of tap into the talent, in the pool of talent that we have, with a lot of incentives, both from the provincial government and the federal government, and also our ecosystem partners. Then when it comes to women entrepreneurship, we actually have it's called Women Entrepreneurship Canada strategy. We're implementing a very big component of that project. And so if you are a woman entrepreneur and you're looking for a very attractive and conducive landing spot, please think about Kingston. And then we also, about 3 to 4 months ago, we secured a health innovation funding from the federal government. So if you're in the healthcare space, please don't hesitate to think about us, think about Kingston. And then, as you might be aware, Canada has the startup visa program. So if you're having issues with visas with all these other countries, Canada has actually provided a 5-year startup visa to entrepreneurs who have attractive ideas. And as Southeast Ontario, we're also working together as a larger ecosystem to provide these visa programs to entrepreneurs who are interested. So should you think about Kingston, my contacts are there on the screen. I'm an email away, I'm a phone call away. let's work together and let's make this happen. Thank you so much, Ellie and your team. We are always excited to be part of these conversations.
Thank you, Norman. Really appreciate it, and very inspiring work you guys are doing in Kingston. I feel like going there now, actually, with all those benefits. So absolutely great. Thank you, Norman. Excellent. We're moving on to our last presentation for today. We're jumping all the time between continents, and this presentation is going to be from Argentina, from the beautiful city of Cordova by Ramiro. So let me quickly find you, Ramiro, and also promote you to be a presenter. So just a second. I'm also gonna, while doing that, also gonna share with everyone the rankings of Cordova and the panel of Cordova. So let me quickly, yeah, there it is. Let me quickly share with you, with everyone, the rankings of Cordova, if I can find them. Let me see. I had them open, but just a second. Ramiro, get comfortable.
How are you?
How are you
Good
doing?
evening.
Good, everything's great. Good to see you. Good to thank you for staying. I'll just briefly let everyone know Cordova, second ranked highest ecosystem
Thank
in
you.
Argentina, 13th in South America, increasing 2 spots. Also 297 in the world, top 300, increasing 22 spots. Top verticals, energy and environment, top 100, transportation 102, food tech 116. So great stuff is happening in Cordova. And yeah, Ramiro, take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. I will make a presentation. So can you see it or not?
Not yet.
Oh,
There is a share screen button somewhere at the bottom. I'll let you know if something
yes,
comes up.
it's on, but
But it doesn't work. We had this in the previous event as well. Sometimes you have to go freestyle, but yeah, maybe try. Maybe you can still pull it off.
yes, I'm going through it. Sorry. Here it is. I have a problem, I think, in the configuration, but it says it's done, but I don't know.
No,
You can see it?
No. But yeah, go freestyle without presentation.
Okay.
That's sometimes it's the best way to convey a message. So yeah.
That's right. I can send it through you if you want. It's a PDF.
No, it's fine. Just go for it.
Okay. So, good evening to all. I will talk about our startup ecosystem of Córdoba, Argentina. First of all, I want to talk about Córdoba. It has 1.5 million inhabitants. It's really famous because for its important universities, and it's the second most important city after Buenos Aires. Well, we are really happy. I've seen in the ranking, we have jumped 22 spots. So we are really happy for that. Our main characteristic, and it's very important for us, is the amount of organizations that support our local entrepreneurs. There are right now 16 organizations. Between them, there are accelerators, universities, some of government areas, between others. Okay, so, well, really, right now we have 167 technology-based startups. Some of them are Wallaby, Excapit, Fligo, WinClub, and Quilimo. So, well, our startup profile, mainly the type of product is software, and they are between, mainly they are between 1 and 3 years of age. The main verticals of our startups ecosystem is software factory, e-commerce, e-health, and EdTech and FinTech. The technology most used by our startups is mobile solutions, data analytics, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence. So talking a bit about the teams, we have 534 founding entrepreneurs, which they are mostly men with 86.4%. The ages of the members of these founding teams, they are mostly between 31 and 40 years old, and they have mostly university and postgrad study levels. So going through the business model and traction, the markets in which our startups most operates are local, Cordoba and Argentina. We have a really low international market operation, and this is one of our biggest flaws, to have a low international insertion, and it's one of our biggest things we are working at. We're working really hard in improving and increasing our insertion in the world of our startup ecosystem. Okay, well, this is because we can see that, well, it would be great to show you the graphic, but our mostly funding sources are government programs. So the private investment is really low, is at 28.5%. 28.5% of the startups raised a private investment. So it's really low for us. Okay, well, for example, we are really working in improving and increasing the insertion of Cordoba's ecosystem in the world. Nowadays, the local government is setting up a startup investment fund to continue promoting this our ecosystem. And well, we can see that seeing the results, the numbers are really improving, and we have a really good potential, and we have faith in our startup ecosystem, and we hope it's in the next years improve a lot. So okay, that was a bit of our presentation of our ecosystem startup ecosystem. Sorry. Thank you very much. I can send you some information if you want. I invite you to visit our web. I can write it to you there in the chats. I think
that would be great. Maybe you can write your email to us in the chat.
Yeah, I can email to us. I invite everyone to visit our ecosystem, and well, thank you to all.
Thank you, Ramiro, and great jump. You guys, I don't know what you're doing there in Cordova, but it works, and it seems like there are great results, good presentation as well. So thanks a lot, and tell everyone hi in Cordova. Excellent. So everyone, we're very happy to launch the new report with all of our partners. Basically, once again, you can read the report at report.startupblink.com. It's open for the public. Share it, have fun. StartupBlink has a new site. Once again, dashboards, maps, ranking tables that are interactive. Hopefully, it will going to be useful for all of you. And that's basically it. Until next year, probably sooner, we will meet again. I want to thank everyone. Some of you stayed very, very late at night, and enjoy. Have a good one. Continue building your ecosystem. It's the best way. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Good night.